Alright, time for the second half of the What Did the Electrician Say to His Daughter When She Came Home at 2 a.m. assignment. On this last section, you need to solve the two pairs of equations for y and then graph them both. On 10 here, I'm just going to add y to both sides. And that'll give me 2x. That's a 2. If I can actually write 2x. And then on the right side, I'm going to have negative 1 plus y. If I want to get rid of negative 1, I'm just going to add 1 to both sides. And that's going to give me y equals 2x plus 1. So there's my first equation. This next one, I'm going to subtract 2x and subtract 12 from both sides all at the same time. So subtract 2x, subtract 12. And that'll give me 3y equaling negative 2x minus 12. I just need to divide everything by 3 to get my y all by itself. Now I'm looking at y equals, well, negative 2 divided by 3 is just negative 2/3. And then negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So there's my second one. I need to graph both of these on my coordinate plane, which is right below it. We're going to take this first one and graph it. That's going to be, since it has this plus 1 here, and that 1 doesn't have x with it, that's our y-intercept. So we're going to go to our y-intercept of 1 there. And it has a slope of 2, which is the same thing as 2 over 1, or a rise of 2, and a run of 1. So I'm going to go up to right 1, up to right 1, and these points here are where my, those spots there are where my points are going to be. So I'm going to put a point on each of those, because I can. And you can actually go down to left 1 as well. And that'll get you these ones. And once you have that, you don't have to put as many as I do. But once you have that, you'll be able to draw your line going through all those points. And it'll look beautiful, even better than mine, because you use like a straight edge or something. And going to 11, this one, the number that's not with x is negative 4, so we're going to negative 4 on our y-axis, and it's going to be our y-intercept. And then here we have a slope of negative 2/3, so that's down 2, right 3. And it's kind of hard to go down 2 from here, so I'm going to go up to left 3, and that should give me my new point. And once you have that, oh, I started down too far. Negative 4 is right here. And go up to left 3. That'll give me another point that I can use. And I can actually go down to right 3. And with all that, I now have points to put my line through. And so there's my other line. We'll go over 12 and 13. On 12, I need to get my y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 20 from both. What the? Man, my stylus sucks. Subtract 20 from both sides. We'll get 4y equals, that's 5x. And then subtract 20. Divide both sides by the 4 that's in front of the y. And we'll get y equals, well, 5 divided by 4 is just 5/4. And then negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. So there's my first equation. Let's graph that right now while we're at it. That has a y-intercept of negative 5. That's the number not with x. So I'm going to go down to negative 5. Put a point there. It has a slope of 5/4. So that's a rise of 5, a run of 4. And that's going to give me a new... Oh, that's only run. There's my new point. Once you have the points, you can draw your line. And that one goes through W. So that one's 12. And let's solve 13 for y. And so actually y is really close to being simplified all by itself. So subtract 2x from both sides. The problem with this stuff here is that you can't combine it with that because it's in parentheses. So we're looking at 3x Here, let's not start with that. Let's start with distributing, because then we'll get 3x minus 3 equals 2x minus y. Now we can subtract the 2x from both sides. We'll get just x minus 3 equals negative y. Don't forget the negative, because now we need to get rid of the negative by dividing everything by negative 1. And when you do that, you're going to get y equals negative x plus 3. And there's my next line. And so when we look at that, the number not with the x is the 3. That's going to give us a y-intercept of 3. And it has a slope right there. Oh no, there's no number there in front of the x. Well, if there's no number there, that number is going to be 1. And negative 1 is the same thing as negative 1 over x. So it's like going down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Or you can go up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1. So I got these points, and that gives me my line for my next graph, and that's 13. And that brings us to our last two here when you get the y all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and that was kind of hideous. Anyway, right side is now just 3y, left side is 7x minus 9. I need to divide everything by that 3 that's in front of the y to get the y by itself. I'm now looking at y equals, and then I have 7x over 3, or 7/3 x. And then negative 9 divided by 3 is just negative 3. So there's my first equation. On 15, I'm going to work towards getting my y by itself by getting rid of the x term on the left side. So I need to subtract it from both sides. And that'll give me 18y equals negative 9x. I need to divide everything by 18 to get y by itself. Well, 9 divided by 18 is 0.5 or 1/2. So really I just have negative 1/2 x. And that's my line. So let's graph 14 real quick. The number not with x is at negative 3. So I'm going to go to negative 3, and I can just write on my y-axis and put a point there. It has a slope of 7/3, so that's if I go up 7 and then right 3, that'll give me my new point. So going up 7, right 3, it's right there at that intersection. So now I got my other point. I can draw my line, and it'll look beautiful just like that. So that one's 14. The other one here, you notice how it doesn't have a number here that's not with the x? That's because that number is 0, and adding 0 doesn't change your equation. That's the identity property. And so we're going to have a y-intercept of 0 just right there, right at the origin. And we have a slope of negative 1/2, so that's like going down 1, right 2. And once you do that, you can have all these intersection points. That lets you know where to graph your line. And I'm going to do that, assuming I can actually draw right. Put arrows on the ends, and you have a lovely line, and that's 15. If I could write a 5. And there we go. There's our rest of our solution.